conscious souls, chosen ones, empaths. Do you know how many narcissists are still caught up on their X supplies? Right? This even happened with you. Hear me out now. Even though you're a conscious soul, a chosen one, an empath, they never really appreciated you when they were around you. And the thing is even in non-narcissistic relationships now, check on social media, there's a prominent person in someone's life that they reflect back on and they can never quite get over. Yet they enmesh themselves in a world of affection of strangers around them to try and, drill out the pain from what they're experiencing, from losing that person or from walking away from that person or from leaving that person. And I get comments frequently, the narcissist isn't fazed. The narcissist doesn't care. They're wearing the mask. All right. The mask shifted. You saw the slip of the mask. They got exposed, or you exposed them. You knew what they were, even if everyone else didn't. But they go and reattach that mask back out in the world around them with the new supply, so they're not going to reveal their pain to you. What are you seriously like? They don't know. They fear your truth. That's part of the reason why they run from you. They fear your truth. They fear how you handle yourself in your dialogue. They don't know how to have a conversation with you, right? So that's why a lot of them don't approach you or confront you. And they just leave, or they just ghost, or they just abandon. They do these things because they don't know how to confront you. But what I'm trying to get at is they go through the same pain as this is because of the culture so fast paced now with dating apps and all this stuff. People don't go through their problems. And what you got to understand is a narcissist goes through their problems later in life and realizes, wow, you were the person to be by their side, and how you helped them through their difficult times even when you're with them. The point being is when they first met you, they were still caught up on their past, and they were using you as a means to sound out the pain or drill out the pain, or however I can put it, right? To enmesh themselves in a world with you to try and block out the reality of losing someone that they cared about, right? Or not, that they were getting supply from. That's a better way of putting it. And it's just the way it goes. They only realize after. So you got to understand, I'm focusing on this video particularly about those of you that the narcissist left you, or the narcissist walked away from you, or the narcissist ghosted you or abandoned you, right? They will feel this way. The point being is they go off into a cycle of other relationships to block out the reality. But they always have you as a reflection. They always have you as a point of reference. They always have you as a benchmark, and nothing supersedes that. This needs to be an awareness spread amongst the survivors of narcissistic abuse. This needs to be common knowledge. All right. You need to just know this, have this as a knowing. I've realized that many people haven't grasped this concept yet. And I'm going to make it my mission, because if I can help just with this, just so you go on your journey and I can help with this, so you have that awareness that they do reflect back. All right. You are that person, right? And you shouldn't be flattered by it or anything. You should know that about yourself. That's why I call it the knowing. You should know that you have that effect on people, right? So they suffer with this grass is greener syndrome. They think that life's going to get better without other people, and they realize that they were comfortable around you. Just like when they got with you, they were comfortable around their previous supply. However much they told you the previous supply was bad, it was toxic, they may well be, but they were still caught up on that dynamic. Okay. And many of you might still be caught up on the narcissist, and that should give you enough kind of understanding that if you're still caught up on the narcissist, then of course they're caught up on you. And this is what I'm trying to say about the mask shifting that I was mentioning in the earlier segment. You saw for what they were. You saw they were demonic. You saw the black eyes. You saw the darkness. You felt the aura. You saw something. At least a lot of the times you saw something, even if you weren't fully awake yet. And then the relationship ends. The ghosting, the abandonment happens. The discard happens. And you're faced with the reality I mean, you're faced with the reality of, you're in pain. Of course, when they go off, they had the grass is greener syndrome. They think they can get something better, and it just doesn't work out that way. All right. This is the problem that narcissists face. And you can see, many of you are on social media. If you study people or you just see something in your feed, you'll realize that a lot of people are still caught up on one particular person, non-narcissistic and narcissistic. They're still caught up upon one person, or in a narcissistic sense, one supply source. And that's really who you are as the conscious soul, right? You see, because they move forward so fast, that's why I was mentioning that they were still caught up in their past when they got with you. But when the dust settles a bit, really you stand out from the rest of all of the supplies. You really do. And it's because you're different. It's because a lot of them were very obsessed with you, right? When they started to have you around, they got so obsessed. But like I said, they have this grass is greener syndrome. They think life's going to present them flowers and life's going to just improve. And they realize when they get back out there, they're on astroturf and not fresh green blades of grass. And that was what a fellow commenter mentioned. That is the reality of what happens. And it's hard for them to come to that realization that, it's hard for them to come to that realization that life hasn't worked out in the way that they thought it would. They thought these things would make them happy. They're in a search for happiness. A narcissist is in a search for happiness, just like most people search for happiness, whether a temporal fix or more permanent fixes. Still, they haven't quite fathomed that happiness is really a non-existent emotion that can be achieved by anyone in the human race, right? It can't actually be solely just achieved and you're in a permanent state of happiness. It fluctuates. It's a mood, right? It's a mood. It fluctuates. Okay. And really the only thing that, like I've mentioned in my very early videos, the only thing that improves your baseline happiness is gratefulness. And many conscious souls, chosen ones and empaths, are grateful. So you've got to understand that even if you're in a situation where they're with a new supply, you're actually enjoying your life more. You're getting more. You might not realize it yet, but you're getting more from life than they ever will, because they don't have gratitude. They're not appreciative of what they have, right? So I'm telling you now, this narcissist, wishes they never walked out on you. They really, really do. They wish they never walked out from you. They wish they never walked away from you. That goes through their heads. They're in constant regret, self-absorbed regret. Yes, they're in constant regret. They wish they never walked away from you. You need to know this about the narcissist, right? And I know I titled it the X, but really this goes for any narcissist, even family members, colleagues, associates. All of them will wish they never walked out of your life. They look at you as a lifetime source of supply. The factor is, like I mentioned, they get the grass is greener. They trade gold for trash. They trade the jewel for trash, the jewel that you are for trash. And that's what they have to deal with. That's the reality they have to deal with. And that opens up a whole nother can of worms, which I'll get into in other videos. But, their decision making behind this, they don't have accountability. I'll say that just for now, but there'll be a video coming soon where I touch on this subject. They're not accountable for their decision making. So, they'll try to shift blame onto others. Let me just say that for now. So anyway, thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. If you'd like to donate or support to the channel, you can. Check out Zion Music and check out Zion Spiritual. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.